screen not looking too happy, but that's him being happy, so don't worry about that. Let's go into game 2. Same sides as Lyric said, with a change in ban by LGD.
Yeah, so this would signal that LGD still want the Aphelios first pick, right? If you were going to ban the Ashe and then first pick the Syndra, give over the Aphelios with less answers, that sounds quite weird.
Yeah.
So I want to see if LGD do change this third ban as well.
Kindred targeted towards Peanut. That's been his best jungle pick. Syndra, okay, there you go.
Yep, so I like the adaptation. They do realize, you know, a big issue coming out from the side of OMG. And even the Ashe, right, just giving them that constant proactive option throughout the game was nice to see. Now, will OMG ban the Aphelios? My guess is no.
No. Do they care enough?
My guess is still no.
Okay.
But for their side, they do still have the Kalista open. Oh, they actually do.
We shouldn't guess anymore.
Yeah. We are not the top-tier analysts that we thought we were.
First pick Volibear would be a denial of what Hacker played in Game 1, locked in by LGD. Can be flexed around. Langx has played this before.
I kind of expect them to just go for Kalista here. Maybe even just Kalista, Taric. Oh, wait, Kalista's banned. I'm sorry. Kept thinking the Kalista.
Okay.
But so instead, our next highest priority AD carry is the Ezreal, which has not been something that SMLZ has preferred to go on this split. He's actually only played 2 games of it.
Yep.
But we do also have things like Jhin and Kai'Sa. Of course, SMLZ is one of the people who played Jhin this split, and Kai'Sa has kind of been the other standout alongside Ezreal if these 4 AD carries are banned.
When we talk about the Ashe matchup for the Jhin, something that's very relevant is what we've seen all the Jhin games.
Yep, so
doesn't have that in his way.
Exactly, so that would be quite strange of him to pick it up without that matchup, but so instead, still, we're going to have the battle of late-game AD carries. And another thing to note is the fact with LGD having to change their bans, Hacker did get his hands on the Lee Sin this time around.
Yeah. A question for you, because that seemed like a little bit of a hover to put in the face of LGD. Does Jhin do well in a Kai'Sa?
I mean, Jin's laning phase, like, Jhin is the type of AD carry who in lane does well and do, I'd say, most things, right? You do have, like, the niche picks, the Caitlyn's, the Dravens, but it's interesting to me that OMG picked the Thresh here because Thresh obviously kind of opens up more AD carry picks since it does solve the immobile issue.
Yeah.
Like, Thresh and Ezreal has not been a duo that we've really seen this split. It's not something you'd traditionally think of either.
Let's see what the priority is. Because that was put forward, no! SMLZ, he's been a Sivir player in the past.
Yep, and right, this was the inkling I got when they picked that Thresh. Is okay, we're going to go towards something new here, and nice to see. Obviously, Sivir is very good for finding those fast rotations around the map, getting on objectives first. Very strong at taking down turrets, so OMG going to have a very neutral objective and teamfight focused game.
I haven't seen a Sivir in a very long time. This is going to change the comp of OMG, and I'm curious as to what the solo lanes drafted in are going to be. I just want to be an analyst for a second. Wukong is still available. Something like that with On the Hunt from the Sivir ulti could be a great way to play the fight.
I agree. I mean, just building into this full-on 5v5 team composition would be something to be really excited to see. Shoring up some champions that have engage issues, like you said, the Wukong, helping him get onto the enemy team would be nice.
Especially when we've seen people don't really care about the matchup if it is a Volibear in the top lane.
I mean, Volibear just does so well and does so many picks.
Yeah.
I mean, we might even just see Curse go towards the Renekton if that is open.
He also plays Aatrox.
It is a champion. Aatrox is something that's kind of fallen out of favor, which makes sense. The fact that it was meta for so long was so surprising when it does have so many bad matchups.
Yeah.
But now with the Renekton gone, I wonder if he will just go towards that Wukong. We do also have the Mordekaiser, but I think it looks a bit strange in their composition, but is another kind of generic tanky top lane champion.
Yeah. I guess pulling in a mid laner blind is better than pulling in a top laner blind when you don't know where this Volibear is going to go.
And this is Icon's first game of the Orianna this split. But hey, it fits the route we were talking about, right? We're looking for these 5v5 late game team fights.
Yep.
You have the Sivir, you have the Orianna. This is as straightforward as it gets. Now the question is, where is our front line, going to come from? It's not really the Lee Sin or the Thresh, so we do expect some kind of generic tank in the top lane.
The Ornn is still available,
the
right?
The Maokai.
Oh, the Malphite.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
With a Sivir.
With an Orianna.
We've got LGD's comp already built, but I now care about OMG. How do you round this up? Curse is a very fun player to watch.
We've seen it into the Volibear as well.
True.
I'm committing.
But let's pause.
Well.
Okay, does the Jax round as nicely as you think.
I mean, is the Jax the frontline champion?
He is a late game scaler, I guess.
I mean,
but
late game scaling and frontline.
Okay, I know.
Things,
I know. I kind of changed the topic. Is he a frontline? You're going to answer for me. There you go. So, you go.
I'm kind of let down, but I mean, it obviously does well in its lane matchup, right?
Yeah,
so I can see what they're going for with it, but you drafted this extremely strong like combo of carries that can just dish out so much DPS and burst in team fights. Then you take this Jax, which we actually have seen a Jax go before. I can't remember who did it, but they rushed Black Cleaver. I think it was Bin, and they played for team fighting. Yeah, and it was really strange, but it worked. I think they won that game. It was against DMO.
I feel like he was so far ahead that the Black Cleaver was just like, let's get this item now so I can team fight.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
It was against DMO.
So you're going to have to explain a bit to me, because when we see Sivir, we go, holy moly, new pick 80 carry. You talked about the team fight setup. Do we still just throw it into that basket, or is there going to be options for 1-4? Is it about getting the Jax enabled in the side lane?
So Sivir traditionally could work in a 1-4 comp just because you do have obviously your Q and W, which instantly clear out waves. The problem is, like, it's just strange when you think of Thresh and Lee Sin and Sivir being that kind of disengaged combo in the mid lane. You obviously do have a lot of proactive tools, and you'd much rather set up fights. If you were going to go straight up for that 1-4 style, it seems like you would have indexed into more disengaged things like a Braum or Gragas, things among those aspects.
But at least I can say there's a lot of scaling on the side of OMG, right? It feels like the composition gets towards the later portion of the game, and any fights where they get the engage first, they win.
I'd say if we get to a point where, you know, it's 4 or 5 items, they might just have so much straight up damage they could just come out ahead.
Okay.
But LGD do still have scaling as well, right? They did pick the Kai'Sa on their side. Yep, Sylas as well obviously does quite well in the mid game. And something that jumps out to me already is the fact that we have seen this more, especially in LCK, is Sylas is going towards fleet footwork ever since the Conqueror nerf came through. Actually, I saw Chovy and Showmaker, I almost mixed their names together, doing it the other day.
Showmaker, as OMG pushing for a bit of an invade, but xiye spots them out. How else does it roll, though? Because very different comps on different sides. Scaling an element, but skirmish heavy with an 80 jungler mixed with a Sylas.
Yep. I mean, I actually really like how you round that one out, because skirmish heavy is the right way to go with LGD's comp. You obviously have 2 melee, very brawly solo laners. The fact that you draft a Rek'Sai always indicates that you do want to play more early game focus, since, you know, in the mid and late game team fights, you're just going to go in. You have no way to get out. You're pretty much just going to die if you're not ahead. So you expect to see ganks, especially come into the mid lane early on. Probably not before the level 3 mark, because that's when Sylas really starts coming online as a champion, and then translating that into the side lanes, and I'd like to see that done in the top lane.
And especially when you get to that 3, as an Orianna player, I know that Sylas can be quite a nuisance if he lands the Abscond Abduct. And you were talking about the rune choice change with Fleet Footwork. That extra movement speed with a bit of healing is going to be a nuisance for Icon if he doesn't get the phase rush off first. As Kramer gets hit quite hard by the Sivir Thresh.
Yep. Going back to the mid lane matchup, it's not something that I think is horrible for the Orianna, even as like we get into level 3, 4, 5, and 6. Even Orianna Ultimate, it's fine for Sylas, but it's not like the S tier of ultimates you want to take for champions. So the fact that he did take Fleet Footwork also indicates that, you know, he is just going to play to get through the laning phase, wait for this mid game point where he could go take... Actually, none of the ultimates on the side of OMG are that appealing, honestly.
SMLZ's ulti.
Yeah. SMLZ's ulti, you, Peanut, and Longshing all run into the enemy.
There's going to be some pretty fast team fights from both teams now that I think about it. But you're right, limited. That or the kick as Dredge Line really nicely shielded by SMLZ. Gets a bit of mana back. Oh no, we've got a spectator bug with a Boomerang Blade from Sivir. It has been a while. I don't know if it's Pizza Skin or the champion, but you're not going to see that particle, guys. Apologies. And then we're going to get Kramer upgrading W, and you can't see his W either.
Yeah, but this is really interesting because, again, this is what you need to do for these types of matchups where you have a melee, kind of assassin skirmishing mid against a ranged scaling champion. Is you need to find ways for your teammates, usually your jungler, to interact with the mid lane, because you do typically come out with stronger 2v2s, or, I mean, in this case, it would have just been a 3v1.
It was really nice, though, to see that respect paid by Icon. Hacker was nearby, too. Now go to the bottom side, the flash for flash. Kramer walks to the right, but that's an 80 carries flash for his supports.
Yeah, and you take that every day of the week, and so far, OMG is doing a good job coming out ahead in the bot lane with that play, coming out ahead in mid just from how laning phase goes in this matchup. And now we got to see if Peanut can make anything happen because he opted for this Rek'Sai. This is an early game pressure jungle. The thing that's so great about Rek'Sai is your tunnels open up so many avenues to get into different lanes.
Now ready for Curse. Minion wave coming on in, but the push from Langx as he backs away means Peanut just goes to the invade and backs away himself with a small lead in the jungle while Hacker goes back to farming after pressuring bot.
And I don't feel like we've seen Sylas be all that successful here in the LPL, and ever since his pseudo rework came in, where a lot of his damage got reworked into the Kingslayer in late game, it just feels so hard to get through a lot of lane matchups.
It used to be about the Q. I forgot the name of the Q. Okay, Langx just gets bullied by Curse. Matchup shifting gears as Langx was bullying him out a lot before. Hacker clearing out Raptors on the bottom side. This mid wave is everything right now for these two teams. And Icon dominating the lane over xiye, delaying the back.
And now he's going to miss out on some... Ooh, okay, so he's going to stay. Not going to miss out on any gold. I mean, it actually only picks up one in the end, but still, it is nice that he at least gets the EXP coming from those minions.
Chain Lash was the word I was looking for, by the way.
That was always the only one I didn't know. I knew Kingslayer. I know Abscond Abduct. The passive, I don't know. It's swirl your chains in the air.
Unleashed.
I'm so sad that they changed that to where it stacks up now instead of where before you had to use it right after the ability.
Why? Out of curiosity, it does make it easy to play Sylas.
It just, I don't know. Something felt better about it before.
True. Do you like that there's 3 stacks now though instead of 2?
I don't know. Just bring back old Sylas.
Okay.
Though he was extremely strong, back then. But I remember when the ult range used to be way bigger as well. That was amazing.
True.
The ult cooldown used to be better. Yeah, I guess he was just better in every way before.
We got late game, it was like 10 seconds or something. It was pretty insane.
I don't think it was 10 seconds.
It was 10. It was like 10 or 15 seconds.
It was quite short, but
as gotta pay homage to SMLZ. He's throwing out boomerang blades. You just can't see it. And it's waiting for the dredge line to come through from Mark so he gets a bit of mana.
And the thing that's so interesting is the fact that it's hard for Peanut to gank bot because you have Spell Shield from SMLZ as well as Lantern. But obviously, as a Rek'Sai on blue side, that's where you'd want to gank because you can come from the angle over their wall. We see Langx just consistently pushing in Curse, which isn't allowing them to set up for a gank. We are at the level 6 point for Langx, so potentially can go for a dive. Yep. It's still quite risky because of that Jackson E as well as his ultimate. And we've seen him go for no attempts of hovering around mid lane. It's just all been about Hacker using Icon's pressure to look for invades in Peanut's jungle, which he's going to do again.
I mean, he's caught up in CS where Peanut was leading before, now heading towards bottom side. Thinking that the red buff may have been started, Sonic waves it, and we begin. Peanut's on his way.
Peanut is going to have his passive, so he's obviously should know that...
But Hacker's not moving.
Yeah, it's not moving.
Sonic wave into the steal, and Hacker gets away with it. Peanut not going to be able to follow him, and Cold there just in case.
We've seen it now twice where they're just doing such a good job of using their mid and bot pressure. We saw before invading and taking the Raptors, now with the red buff. So just getting these small incremental leads over LGD.
And another early game where OMG are looking better. This time, LGD haven't made the mistakes, but OMG still playing much better League of Legends these days.
Yeah, and the thing I just want to see is realistically what happens in the late game. Like if it comes to a straight 5v5 team fight.
Depends how we get there. Another dredge line blocked by the mana shield. And away LGD go. Peanut was ready, but there's no follow-up for a while.
And like we said, as Rek'Sai on blue side, you'd much rather gank this lane, but as we can see, it's much harder with the defensive tools that they have available to them.
And as we know, Sivir just wants to stay in farm. So if that lane goes uninterrupted, good for SMLZ.
It's actually kind of funny that you finally have the wave top in a point to where Rek'Sai can, use his tunnels, come through, find a good gank on a Curse, but Peanut obviously on the bot side.
Yep. As we talked about, LGD like to do. It seems like it doesn't matter what comp it is, they like bot. It does also indicate the cool, I guess I was going to say language connection. Peanut and Kramer, of course. Previously from the LCK, as over the wall, initiate from Mark, and you know what? Icon caught out with the Dark Passage, chilling Smite, ult D, he flies through and the Shockwave doesn't connect and doesn't even go on cooldown. Peanut for the follow-up after getting first blood because xiye is on the wing. But they stop there. Herald's available, and Hacker needs a steal or has to let this one go.
Yeah, overall, nice play coming out from LGD. We keep talking about how they have to be the early aggressors in this composition, so good of them to now be able to secure this Herald. And with SMLZ not positioned bot side, they're not even actually really losing out on anything for the side of LGD.
Kramer walks up, helps secure all the way to the bottom side and won't miss too much at this point. So well done from LGD, while OMG, bit of a reset here to get onto the Dragon. Even that they're shaking about.
No, and I like this because we just see LGD send their bot lane straight mid first, have them push out the wave. So OMG have to be a bit hesitant of, okay, where is Peanut? Can we realistically start up this Dragon safely? They're going to go for it, and Peanut obviously is on the top half of the map, so not going to be able to contest this, especially with xiye backing.
All right, let's spot it out. Walks into a hook. Bit of a danger zone. He has the killer instinct, but Hacker flashes in as well on the hunt. Prop versus 3 under turret. Sonic Wave into the resonating strike, but the knockup from Mark. So nicely done for a trade. However, it's OMG who gets the AD carry.
Yeah, overall, nice dredge line by Mark at the end of that one as well. So 1 for 1, and you were the team that committed resources, which is always what feels bad about it. So, you know, had they pulled that off, they could have transitioned that straight into a Dragon, to where now we see Peanut pathing towards bot side. They can get themselves in a position to just take Dragon themselves, or had OMG's bot lane stayed, countered that play.
But I will say, you've got a Sivir now who has a BS sword that should Caulfield's Warhammer, excuse me, so no S3 but yet. And with a Carl, that assist even. Bit of gold now to SMLZ, and Hacker to get the snowball rolling. Picked up that kill. So OMG refunds some of the gold that was taken away from them when LGD got the kill topside.
Yeah, another thing I find interesting is that xiye did just go for the revolver, where, you know, we've seen a lot more, especially in LCK these days, where you go for the Lost Chapter first because it shores up a lot of your mana problems, especially when you're going for the Qmax route like xiye did.
Hang on, Shockwave's going to be used. Those 3 members of OMG there. Flash from xiye, that's good. He has the Dragon's Rage, uses it first. Onto the back line. Hacker gets taken by Peanut. And now for Icon at half health, Mark's on the engage. He has to run away. His dredge line lands onto the support that he's got a duck flushed away from. And the chain lash to zone. LGD have been a lot more proactive this game too.
And overall, that was just a nice counterplay coming out from LGD, right? We saw OMG were the aggressors, and this is just going to set up for a very easy mid lane turret for LGD.
Everyone's here. LGD have grouped on up. They're 1k ahead, and they're going to get first turret blood, or at least get close to it. With the Rift Herald getting taken down, maybe not yet. Peanut escapes from the hook as well.
We've had this conversation many times, Asterix. That turret is a lie.
Yeah.
It is a false sense of safety,
okay,
and we don't believe in it.
Well, meanwhile, Curse is like, I'm still getting gold top, so it's not a total loss for OMG, but they will give away the first Dragon of the game. Even SMLZ can't walk into River.
Yeah, and so far we've seen small bursts of proactive plays from LGD, but it's been enough to get them ahead. And they secured Herald. They were able to get the Dragon off of that last bad dive coming out from OMG. Now I'm interested to see if they'd go for a dive top. I think it'd be pretty hard to pull off against the Volibear. And okay, with this size of the wave and the wave crashing now, I'd expect not.
Goes with a bit of turret shots. Remember, W on the Jax, excuse me, doesn't require that much mana, only 30, so should be fine as he pushes in the way.
How do you know that?
I do play Jax. I play champions, not well, but I do play them.
Those small tidbits of knowledge are always interesting.
Empowered Strike, or whatever it's called. It's like 30. Leap Strike, I think, is 60. And Counter Strike is, it's not 100. Is it 100, chat? You help me. You fill in the void of my information. Well, nothing happened top. No? Everyone backs away. Turret plating still available. SMLZ, this is the problem. You're versing a Sivir as a Nautilus, and your engage ability can just be blocked every time.
Yes, it can. I mean, we all remember Sivir from back in the day, especially once you hit that like level 5 mark, you just start spamming your abilities, clearing the wave, and pretty much the most non-interactive bot lane champion there is. The
500 CS win condition. Still alive and well as xiye's ready to go onto Icon as he walks into lane. If Scott Duck has the shockwave himself, that's a guaranteed pull on in. Chainlash forces the flash as a reverse shockwave from Icon, but it does nothing, and Hacker can't follow up.
Yeah, I like the play coming out from xiye, looking for it. This is the stage where you really want to bully out the Orianna. He also has an item advantage over her right now as well. But the fact that Hacker is so close to follow up and Icon had flash made it hard to actually get anything tangible out of that.
You talked about Curse starting the dive though, but LGD have something else in mind. Omrecker against him, up, knocked twice, and xiye gets the kill. That was so easy for LGD while more turret plating on the menu. And SMLZ, this is going to be the trade.
Yeah, and that was just LGD pretty much trade-siding the map. We saw them go down mid first, force Icon back, which gave them a very easy path to transition towards top lane and set that up. Still, we see Hacker going towards bot right now. Will they look for a dive on Kramer?
Well, Kramer has ulti, but he needs to dodge away, and yep, supercharger, and he's out.
Yeah, maybe if Cold had flash, they could have forced something, but realistically, Kramer would probably be able to just flash Cold's flash anyway, but still would have been able to get more than nothing. I mean, getting more than nothing is always nice. As
Icon's just walked blindly into Peanut. Ulti's available, he doesn't even need it. Solo carry Peanut in the jungle returns.
Yeah, and they still have full topside control, which can lead to a very easy Rift Herald within the next minute. We do still see Kramer on the bottom side. He doesn't have much mana, so I expect him maybe to just clear out this wave and then recall, start pathing up towards top.
If this was an Ornn, I feel like we would have seen Icon with a bit more help through mid. You know?
Wait, what do you mean?
If we saw Ornn instead on Curse, or the Malphite, or the Maokai.
I don't know if we would have seen more help necessarily, but then it would be like, hey, we get to the 5v5 and then it's just easy, right? You press R with Orianna's shield on you, you then R and Sivir got all of you to the fight. It's just easy. It just makes sense.
My mind is just wandering. Curse, of course, still has a lead individually with CS, but that Trinity Force is a bit more expensive than the Black Cleaver, which Langx has opted in for first.
Ooh, we get a pro view of just Peanut just waiting. And then he knocks her up, okay. Smite's Q came out.
And
E to end it off.
And that's how you do it.
That is, that's the play.
He had Warriors, he had Phage, and he might even have Rift Herald after this play as well. Not warded or spotted out by OMG. So LGD with another objective under their belt. They got time to. Dragon's coming up in a minute, so this is good control for the early game of Game 2.
You know, and it feels like this game really just broke so far into LGD's favor out of pretty much nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, we never had one massive play. We've had a bunch of small plays that might lead to other plays, like when we saw xiye get the flash out of mid, which led all of LGD going top and diving, but no big momentum swing as of yet.
And it was like Peanut started to play towards bot and then thought, hang on a minute, nothing's happening down there. And that momentum shift went through mid. So
the thing is, we still would expect LGD's composition to have a gold lead at this point.
Yep.
Ooh, Cold though.
Over a ward goes xiye. Curse ready in, has the stun up if available. Cold is also bringing his friend Icon. Dark Passage says howdy.
Ooh.
And Protobelt was used. You saw it, Lyric. Abscond out. The Counter-Strike forces the flash, but it's matched well. Good dodge away as the Shockwave will pull him back on in. He has one himself, but it won't be enough. Kingslayer with the heal, but he was close. OMG used 3 to kill 1. Now topside Prio is there while Peanut goes bot.
He played that pretty well. At the end of the day, there were 3 people top. You were overextended after you Protobelted in, so going to get a kill. Going to get some gold onto Icon as well once he picks up that turret, but still, LGD now getting to that 4 dragon point. Well, getting closer, not to that 4 dragon point.
Yep. And we are continuing to trade sides of the map while Icon pushes down top turret. The priority for LGD to react to whoever comes bot, which right now is Curse, to try and save that turret.
I wonder if they'll go for a dive. We do? Okay, so Curse going to be smart. It looks like he probably saw that ward go down, so that's potentially it. But, you know, we almost started talking about scaling earlier, but then we had to back off because that's when we had some shenanigans in the bot lane. And I was going to say, I wonder how it will go in straight up 5v5s because clearly in the damage department,
yeah, keep going.
Clearly in the damage department, we favor the side of OMG, but they also don't have a true front line to where, you know, LGD have Langx, they have Mark, but at the same time, their comp all wants to go in together as well as Kramer and xiye.
Hang on there, Lyric. We're going to teleport. Cold out with the hook. Lands on top of Peanut. The Shockwave flashed away from nicely as the play was not used. Cold has to back away. LGD do the same. And that was close.
Yeah, it was. Still nice to see some proactive plays coming out from the side of OMG. Gold is pretty much dead even, right? The fact that LGD is a 1k gold lead feels very non-consequential.
What do you think of Kramer's build? We normally see like Storm Razors or we see the Guinsus. Essence first.
Yeah, you're right. I'm actually not quite sure what to make of it. It's not something we see very often. Actually, I don't think it's something we really ever see.
Do you want to know something?
What?
In my Chinese solo queue games, every second Kai'Sa is going Essence into like IE or a weird serrated. I know my solo queue is low elo, but yeah. Anyway, we'll track it as it goes forward. Looks like the Guinsus will be coming second. Well, we're comparing against SMLZ because there is an Infinity Edge, there's an Essence Reaver. So with the early farm lead plus the cull that the Sivir was able to pick up, SMLZ has a lead naturally in the bottom lane.
Yeah. I'm also surprised we saw xiye go towards the Luden second. I was trying to say this earlier. Typically we see in harder lanes Sylas sit on the Lost Chapter first, which will either force him into a GLP or a Luden start. And then you go towards that Proto Belt second, you know, assuming you went the Ludens. Typically, you could see Sylas. Ooh, long shank.
Fair tough. Alright. Never mind. Does OMG push mid? Kramer's by himself. He's about to be dove. How does he die? Well, no, he doesn't. That was slick. As TP's being used, OMG have to get out of dodge because Mark's on the side. TP being used by LGD as well. Herald put down in the river while Cold is the one caught out. They turn, however, and find the knock-up. It's 2 for 0 after OMG went too far to kill Kramer, and LGD are running it down mid.
You know what's funny is this game we've seen LGD just profit off of the counter plays they've been making from OMG's aggression, which is completely opposite of what we saw in game 1.
And now for OMG, they're punished by it with Baron being threatened. They have a Kai'Sa, so this could go down quickly while xiye's on the flank.
And it doesn't matter even if you can't get Baron. They're going to have to come into you. You're either going to find some kills or find Baron.
xiye waiting. SMLZ does no mark there. Flash dodge, good dodge away. But now with the Orianna ulti, xiye pulls him back in and Icon dies from his own medicine. As Curse gets to Kramer, but healed on up. He won't die either. And OMG have absolutely been torn apart. SMLZ is a Sivir without a hope. Even though he finds Peanut, LGD still get the kills.
2 for 1 is really unfortunate for the side of LGD. You definitely would have wanted to come out with a bit more than that. Abscond abducting at the end especially. Really disheartening. And now OMG come out pretty much even.
All right.
You get a 1 for 2, but you end up picking up mid lane turret in the end.
And you stop the Baron.
And you stop the Baron, exactly.
Okay.
You stop the Baron after you were punished for making mistakes. So that's really massive for the side of OMG.
Bounty went down too. You got to remember over to SMLZ, and it was a big one. As we
That
watch this again.
spell shield and flash was so great, but also pretty much killed Icon. I mean, Icon could have flashed as well, but maybe just not expecting that from SMLZ. Nice by SMLZ to pick up that kill at the end as well, and then the Abscond Abduct missing pretty much ends the play for LGD.
He's got 3 items. SMLZ is for sure a big dude. Because with the rapid fire cannon, a lot more safety, but we already saw the damage in that last fight.
Also, just going to be hitting like a truck with these crits. Going to deal so much damage.
3 item Sivir at 20 minutes in the game is a very big feels good.
And the fact that even the Colonel only has this 58, heck, it's even getting slower and slowly in OMG's favor, so we keep seeing it go down, but this game feels like anyone's game at this point, and for the side of OMG, right, it's about the members being able to tunnel in onto the likes of SMLZ and Icon, which is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And then now SMLZ doesn't pretty matter.
In River, though, Dragon's going to be started while Peanut's on the back of the pit. SMLZ wants this bit of cooldown reduction on the ulti. And plus, if a Sivir comp gets the Cloud Soul, big news. We'll start with this one.
xiye has the Lee Sin kick, so that's something we need to keep our eye on as well. Could get into that back line and throw one of the carries into the team.
Hacker ready for the execution, the trigger to be pulled, the zoning of the ball. Dragon resets for a little bit. Hacker starts it off again. Dredgeline doesn't connect from Mark. Now all guns blazing, kicked up against the wall, but Dragon still able to be smote away, and Peanut gets the steal as OMG are turned on by LGD in a choke here. Hacker gets pulled back, and Mark has to disengage while Curse pulls out the ulti, but Hacker gets killed by Peanut in the backline versus 3. The hook doesn't land. Langx is the only one who gets balled on in. He'll die in the end, but still following up with Kramer, while SMLZ finally gets targeted down and taken down. Icon with not enough mana, while Curse wants to re-engage. Kramer ults into the backline. A big ball play while Curse has to run away. And that was close from LGD, but they went out.
Yeah, and that fight, like you said, on a razor's edge with the fact that LGD weren't able to just tunnel in onto the back line. They had to take it slow, but luckily, Hacker going a bit too far forward. He went down first, giving Langx the ability to jump into the rest of the members, set up for Cold going down, and then great play by Kramer to secure that last kill onto Icon.
This Essence Reaver Kai'Sa is now going to be with 3 items herself, because that was a shutdown onto SMLZ, who started building up momentum through the traction that he acquired in the early game.
Yeah, and it seems like we're just slowly inching our way towards some kind of, you know, big Elder fight or big Baron fight that's going to come in the next 10 minutes. But let's see what happens here. We just saw Hacker kick out Peanut, but Dragon wasn't low enough, so Peanut still just walked up and smited. We see Hacker now in a really awkward position, gets pulled in by by the Nautilus, which now allows for Peanut to go in and secure this kill. Langx now jumping forward, right in the middle of all the members, and they are just kind of kiting out the pseudo front line that OMG has, not able to get their way onto carries. Great job by xiye there to secure the kill onto Sivir, and then we know after that place when Kramer does the manly play of getting onto Icon of the back line.
Now went back and picked up the Gwynsu's Rage Blade as well. Stinger was already in hand, so 3-item Kai'Sa well and on the way. As at this point, Icon to defend this turret, well, not going to happen. All right, Winions at hand, LGD at hand with a 2K gold lead. While you can see Peanut and Mark hovering around mid with xiye, the pick potential in this mid game still ever so high with big items on these carries. And Baron still up and standing there for LGD to threat.
And this is an important factor that we need to remember is that OMG realistically don't have any safe way of just checking vision, right? You don't have anyone who can really face check. It feels like you're going to have Hacker be the one to walk in, and you're going to have the safety of Cold's Lantern to beat you out. But, you know, Lee Sin's not very tanky. If you walk blind into a brush, xiye, Peanut, Kramer are there, you're just dead.
He does that anyway, though, to be fair.
I
will also say, Icon as an Orianna, you know, the ball is really one of the only useful tools to checking a brush. But I don't think you have full vision of the brush.
Well, and at the same time, if you walk up even like close enough to use ball, like I feel like that's not the. I mean, suddenly Dredge Line comes out of Fog of War.
I have a lot to learn as an Orianna player. That's what I'm
yes,
getting from this broadcast. This is why my elo remains the same. As Langx flanking position onto SMLZ. Spell Shield available with On the Hunt and Summoners. Burnt, but safe enough in the lane for now.
We do see Curse putting a lot of pressure on bots, so Langx is going to have to return and answer that. And of course, we expect Curse to win out in that straight-up 1v1 at this point. And the kind of cool thing we need to keep our eye on is the fact that since both teams are running double TP in their soul lanes, we can see this side lane play come out where you send both of them to one side and just try to pick off the opposite soul laner.
Yep.
Especially for the side of LGD, who do have a ton of CC in the Volibear and the Sylas. This seemed like a very good way to find an advantage on top of Curse and then transition that to some topside pressure through teleports.
And Curse has minimal MR as well.
Yep, only coming out for the Death Stance.
But we got Soul Point in a minute 10. And last one, as you know, was stolen by Peanut, so LGD ready and waiting. So this fight is incoming. Incoming, excuse me, as I almost die. From water. But it is a Cloud Drake, so...
Not a good way to go.
No, it really wouldn't.
So I hear. I mean, I guess I wouldn't hear that, because how would you know?
Yeah, I don't know if we're diving down a rabbit hole or not, but okay.
Ouija boards and all that stuff.
Ah, yes. Wait, what?
Talking to spirits that have passed on, you know?
That's what you do in your spare time.
No, but... I mean, I guess the audience wouldn't know, so I could say yes.
Yeah. I will say, though, I've had some friends who've been freaked out by that, but I think it's all...
I just want to say, you're the one that led us here, though, with talking about your...
oh, I almost died.
Your death by water.
He was drinking and I almost died. What items do we have around this dragon? 15 seconds. BF Sword on SMLZ. This Civ is still big at 310 CS at 27 minutes, by the way. While I think we're backing for a Nash's Tooth. Yes, we are. Kramer with 3 himself.
So that'll both be massive. I think another important thing to look out for will be these Zanyas for xiye, right? And kind of how that allows him to get off a second rotation of spells in these fights, which could potentially lead to Icon or SMLZ going down.
xiye at 16 versus Icon's 14, but Dragon's gone, so ignore that. All right, let's go towards Baron and talk again.
I mean, realistically, LGD aren't going to rush a Baron. So now Hysterics, we get more posturing. Though, ooh!
Okay, the engage on the side. Hacker almost caught out. Protobelt was used defensively as SMLZ pokes his head forward with a bit of pizza.
That's what we talked about, though, right? Hacker needs to be the one to face check Vision. Luckily, though, LGD not seeing him down in time to find that pick, and now we're going for a cheeky Baron.
We begin because Cold actually backed away. The cheeky Baron, how quick is it? Xiye off the zoning as teleport's being used, and it is going down quick as Hacker. Sonic Wave into the backline. They want a 50-50 this. He's in early, though. CC down. Hacker's dead. Baron secured. And with the pick on top, that's LGD with a massive lead.
That was so scary at first, though. We see Hacker get into the pit. The Baron's low. It's like, oh my god, this is a Lee Sin. Is it going to happen? At the end of the day, though, great by LGD to have the temperament to pull off, CC him down, and Langx does pick up that kill. So now LGD going to be able to play out this full map state. Of course, Sylas is going to feel really good going in a soul lane up against the Orianna at this point in time.
A great recovery, though.
Yeah, great recovery. And overall, we probably will see LGD default into a 1-4 setup because no one can still at this point match Curse in a side lane.
Yep.
So playing out through 2, not giving OMG the chance to punish you in a full map setup does seem like the way to go.
And I was just going to follow with a great recovery to LGD's game 1, where decision-making was at the core of their issue, especially in the early game. An individual play alongside that.
I also feel like draft for me was the
well, yeah,
the biggest one.
Yep. Okay, Hacker, nicely done. But meanwhile, Mark hovering around with Peanut. Xiye untested in the side lane. And SMLZ holds mid. And this is going to be pulling everyone towards the top lane. Still a 2-level difference between the mid laners. This is a 50 CS difference. And there's a needlessly large rod onto Xiye. So showing his size here on the Sylas, while OMG respect his split push.
Yeah, and now it's going to be about how LGD can break. So you would expect them to be able to break down this turret, maybe even get top lane outer if they just have their 3 transition there, and you always have the threat of Langx's TP as well. But breaking down these inhibitor turrets can be really hard because if there's one thing any of us should remember about Sivir, is the endless wave clear in her base.
Yeah.
And this is what sets up these like 500 CS Sivers.
And now he has BT as well as actually engaged topside. Dodged away by Icon second time. He gets a shockwave as his rejuvenation, but TP being burnt. On the hunt from SMLZ brings all 5 together. Shockwave is stolen by Xiye, yet to be used. But OMG hold on, and Icon played that so well.
At the same time, though, you know what we learned in that fight is that the Shockwave still doesn't really do any damage, right? We only have Luden's Echo and Namacon coming out. We have pretty beefy members on the side of LGD. I mean, Sylas, obviously, you do end up getting a lot of health and resistances. The fact you get Protobelt, you have Zanya's. We know Langx being the bear, extremely tanky. Mark as well. Yeah, not going to be easy for Icon to burst anyone down yet until he does pick up something like a Spellbinder or a Rabadon's.
Could be Void coming third by the looks of it. No, it's not.
I was so confused.
I was confusing myself. I apologize.
It happens. It happens, man. We've all been there.
I don't think the items have changed. I think I just forgot.
Yesterday, I forgot the word impact. It happens. But I remembered the player impact. Isn't that what matters?
That is what matters. Actually, watched him overnight with the Shen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played Shen yesterday. And he actually crushed lane when Titanic Hydra first.
I didn't watch the game, but I saw the draft. I remember seeing the 3rd pick Azir because I saw Jensen's tweet afterwards. Like, what are we complaining about? And I saw, I was like, oh, this is what.
Yeah.
I didn't get through the game, which
kind of hard for us to, enjoy LCS because it's on a really weird time zone. If anyone who doesn't know, it's like, what is it, 6 a.m.
Something like that.
And those are not gamer hours.
And at the same time, like, even when we do have time, the fact that LCK is, in a similar time zone just makes that one so much more accessible.
Yeah. Especially since...
Or PCS, if you want to be a hipster.
Hey.
Which, I do, so.
Yeah, he's the coach, part of that region. What do you make of this? Curse versus Langx. Good as damage trade. As that's the pressure applied. Now, remember, Baron buff, while we're having a chat, has gone down. OMG have held onto their base and their inner turrets top and bot.
But the important thing to note is the fact that since LGD are pushed out, they have control over the dragon. And we've already touched on how hard it is for OMG to just blindly check this vision. So I'd actually expect this to just be taken by LGD for free.
Okay. Cloud Soul not the worst to give away. But still, this leads to the Elder in 6 minutes. And you have a Kai'Sa now that's going to get the movement speed off the Killer Instinct.
I mean, at the same time, by that point, we're going to probably have a 6-item Sivir versus a 6-item Kaisa.
You prefer the Sivir, right? Well, what do you prefer?
I don't know how this is going to go.
Okay, great.
When is the last time we saw this?
Been a while since we've seen Sivir versus Kaisa, right?
It has been a long time.
Was it last year at Worlds? Was Sivir prevalent in last year?
Sivir wasn't prevalent, but I'm pretty sure we had a few people pick her
Like a reckless game?
during the season. I can't remember if we saw her at Worlds,
Yeah.
but I'm almost positive we saw her during the split.
Okay.
But I mean, Worlds right was Xayah Kaisa every game.
Because like SMLZ used to play this a lot. Jin and Sivir are his two, I guess, pocket picks, you'd say.
Yeah.
But then again, everyone's played Sivir throughout the period of their career.
I mean,
Everyone's
it
played
is
Jin
still
for-
famous, right? The
Yep.
the Just a Sivir comp quote. Do you remember that one?
400 CS, 91, sorry, 99 more to go. Sorry, 81. Wow, math is hard. 89 more to go.
Shout out to Link and all the OG fans from back in the day.
Okay, all right, you're an old man. I do get it. You're actually younger than me, aren't you? Like 2
slightly.
months.
Yeah, slightly.
And you've done more. Well,
Hey,
the young shall inherit the earth.
you do have a much cooler accent and voice than I do, so.
Yeah, I worked hard to get that, I guess. So, SMLZ's critting 1.9k. Sorry, 1,090.
I mean, and let's be honest. Let's be very frank. This is all going to... If it doesn't come down to someone making like a mistake they shouldn't, it's going to come down to one big team fight, most likely in front of Elder, just from the amount of wave clear that OMG do have. So
Yeah.
I feel like even another Baron for LGD will be kind of... Like, it won't matter too much, right? It's going to be some fight around Elder. Or if OMG do just give up Elder, then going to be some fight in OMG's base.
Which is kind of exciting because seeing 80 carry versus 80 carry being the talking point will lead us to watching SMLZ and Kramer in this final fight. But there's so many elements we need to keep track of. Shockwave as usual, when it hits that 3-item point for Icon. xiye will have a bigger Shockwave because he's got so much more gold in his back pocket now with the Rabadons in hand and a Darksteel.
And this is why you're fine as OMG just to give up everything, right?
Yep.
Because the longer this game goes, you could just play out a one team fight situation where Orianna does hit that huge shockwave. You have SMLZ putting out all this damage from his boomerangs
Full
and
build
ricochets.
now, by the way.
Exactly. You just feel great in that position.
Where for Kramer, we're waiting for what could be the Rabadon's death cap to finish off.
OMG's game is going to be decided by how often SMLZ can crit.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you know,
Will happen a lot.
yeah, exactly.
As even through the waves, they're gone instantly. Icon's like, can I please have some gold, sir? SMLZ at 450 CS at 36 minutes in the game. Walking into this choke, Colt sends out the hook. Good dodge by xiye. Kramer spotted out on this bottom side. OMG actually have river priority. And we're heading towards that Elder point. Forget Baron for now. The plays are going to be coming out. Oh, we got another 45-minute game.
Yes, we do. And right now I'm kind of leaning on the side that we're going to a game 3,
Yeah,
but I actually
Nice.
feel like this one's very unclear.
I like that.
I do too.
Okay with that. Langx trying to spot out. SMLZ confident here with on the hunt as Baron still getting pushed on down. Hacker spots it out in the back of the pit. That's the spell shield gone.
Yeah, so now they're going to be back off. But at the same time, LGD can't risk just tunneling into a choke like the Baron pit at this point because that sets up for all the AoE coming out from OMG side.
And we're back to farming.
Yes,
look at Icons just like, give me the minions, bro.
And this is like the disappointing thing of seeing things like Jax and Fiora, right, is the fact that we do get to these states of the game so much faster now where it's like, okay, well, we have this big neutral that you need to fight over. You can't ignore this neutral. You can't just try to pull them to the side lane.
Yeah.
So really unfortunate to see.
We're going to watch him group up because Baron's being started again in LGD. This is good timing because OMG all just reset.
Yeah, overall, I expect him to get this for free.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I don't think this makes or breaks the game for LGD.
As you said before. But
Yeah.
still, a Baron's a Baron. And it will give a bit more gold for people like Peanut to, I guess, finish off the build. GA now in hand alongside the Knight's Vow. Not Knight's Vow, Edge of Night, excuse me.
Both of these teams have been pretty indecisive, and it just makes me wonder, like, who do you think would win in a staring contest between LGD and OMG?
I think it'd be OMG because SMLZ and Colt don't blink.
I mean, and after game 1, right? Like,
Yeah.
they do just stand and watch you in front of the objective.
I just want to, a lot of people in chat will be saying Icon question mark. Shockwave's on like a 30-second cooldown. It doesn't matter. He instantly
Yeah.
clears out the topside wave and Dragon's up
I mean,
in 50 seconds, and look at the timer.
We just saw him use it, right? It's at 12 seconds right now. It's about to be back up, so.
There you go.
Extremely short cooldown.
If he uses it again here, that'll probably be the question. But he's going to hold on to it because we've got that fight coming up. 40 seconds. Let's go.
And I think we'll just see LGD do what they did once again of just get push waves up, just pretty much posture to control this pit, and at the same time, OMG won't even be able to walk into their jungle.
Peanut has a good flanking position alongside xiye.
Langx.
Teleport behind to sandwich them in. The poke is great as well from Kramer.
Oh, I was spotted out.
All right. Well.
Oh, that was so disappointing. That was such a long flank. It would have been cool if he pulled it off.
The pair just walks in with everyone else. Down to Elder with Baron buff. Okay, minions die anyway. As xiye's on the bottom side. Meanwhile, Langx trying to get away.
Look how nice it is to have tanks on the side of LGD.
That's true. We're in for a long night, sir. Curse has come in as well. Xiye just says, let's go in on the Jax, who doesn't have his team by his side. Colt pulls him in, and that's half health here.
No one can walk in and check Hysterics. They have no way of easily walking into enemy vision.
And this is just gone.
Yep. So great job from LGD to do such a good job of controlling the enemy jungle and river. And they always did it and recalled at the right time.
Xiye's going to come on in onto Hacker or Cold, who flashes away. And with Elder, one pick means the game. The rest of Baron buff as well, up for 40 seconds. They can keep on going. Hacker's lucky that didn't extend to him. Minion wave pushing in. LGD might win this by default.
Yeah, LGD now. The question is, do they have the ability to actually push down this turret and dive?
Well, with the engage mark flashes out immediately. Box was put down. The ball was threatening.
See, it seems like even they don't think they can.
I don't think OMG know if they can win the fight either, though.
This is the staring contest. We talked about Hysterics. This is the staring contest.
And they're both saying, you have such beautiful eyes.
Oh my god.
And
that could be true.
Well, complimenting each other, but no one ever goes for the kiss, you know?
That was so disappointing, though. Seeing Mark Dredgelight in.
Wow, the kick flash, though. Pulls in xiye, well, over the wall for the Stormbreaker. The flash immediately from Langx. xiye doesn't get the execution down. Hacker survive. Shockwave in for the disengage. But with Elder buff, they should have an advantage. But LGD are losing out low health bars. While into the back line, Langx is actually carrying the fight while everyone else dies. Teleport for the re-engage. It's xiye who still has the execution. Langx gets his triple. Curse is low. And let me just say, RNG Langx no more on this game.
You know, but this makes you question, had they engaged an Elder, could they have just won right there? That execution coming in so clutch for the side of LGD.
And now they've found Curse. He has the GA. Remember, the Elder buff will do the work. Flushing away is Curse. And xiye and Langx, the solo laners, are looking to take us to a game 3. There we go into GA, or rather, a bit of a spotlight moment with the clock. And he'll come out of GA, and you know what? They want the kill. They'll get it. We're going to a game 3 in a very sketchy way.
I mean, we've now had two 40-minute games, so